Welcome to our exciting conversation. Let's be real, it's a bigger conversation today. Of course, we want to talk about Valentine's, the love, and people who are dumped and people who want to love each other. And of course, the panel is as usual, the greatest panel, of course, on my right, the most beautiful Dr. C.
And the winemaker. The winemaker. Like, I mean, if you're going to be having a romantic dinner,
yes,
don't forget Samantha wines. Cheers to all the lovebirds out there, right?
Maria, take it up.
And I'm Maria Nyambane. I am very happy to be here. Yes, and I'm an author. And I do children's magazine. I'm really glad to be here. And if you're doing Valentine's, please be safe.
But you not told us that you also you write about love is a scam and is a...
Marriage is a scam. Yes, I write the truth. Marriage is a scam, but I'm married.
But it's a scam.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm your host, CEO Charles Otieno. Of course, we give you very good content out there. So let's begin this show today. Interestingly, the government of Kenya, your beloved government, by His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, decided that every school fee should be paid through e-citizen. So you do not need to go to school to pay their school fees. You just go to e-citizen and you're charged 50 shillings on top. Dr. C, parents.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that the courts have temporarily halted this.
Yeah.
I think from the face of it, I don't think there's any malice in it at all. I think so that there are reasons they've articulated. But I think so that the people who came up with this idea, I think they forgot about the people who really, I'm thinking of the grandparents out there who, you know, there's a lot of young people who've left their children. Either they've died out of HIV. There's very many grandparents looking after children, or looking after orphaned children and all that. And will they be able with their mulika mwizis? It means everybody needs to, with a mulika mwizi, it's very difficult for some of these elderly people to actually get on this e-citizen, number one. And number two, so that means we are going to become like Estonia. We are digitizing the whole of Kenya. Yeah. It just really means that. Are we really ready for that? And then the other point is, what about the people who go and pay with chickens?
Yes, in the village, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. What will that happen?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, there are parents who go and they work for a school for that to be transformed into a school fees. I feel like Kenya is a very young country to be put in that situation whereby everything is digital, because I am so sure not everyone is computer literate like the government is trying to show. We are not there yet. Maybe in Vision 2050 or something, we'll have trained even the grandmothers to use their gadgets. But right now, it's not just the grandmothers. There are parents actually who are even younger and they've not even learned the art of doing that. Let's not also talk about the fact that you find that I want to sponsor a child in a certain school, and I am willing to go to that school and tell them, can you please tell me who is finding it difficult to pay school fees so that I can pay for this child? You'll not tell me to go to e-citizen. Who's e-citizen? Mine? Or look for the parent to use e-citizen? There are so many dynamics that are going with this that are very, really wrong in going with it. And if the court is halted, can it be at least permanent?
I think the court did a good thing. What I've always said, and I agree with you ladies, that I've always asked myself, either President William Ruto is a genius, is too naive, or is just brave. I don't know where to place him.
Brave.
Because he really understands. He told us that he's a hustler and he used to sell chicken. And he knows the tribulations of many parents in this nation. Most of them do not have anything to take to school and they don't have those funds to work with. But I'm saying he's either a genius because what the policies he's tried to employ in this country, no one else has ever tried.
Yes.
Because the Kenyan government and the economy we are running is not elastic. It's very inelastic. Inelastic meaning that it is so uneven for a country to employ one method of payment even in schools. If this country had everyone is well employed, everyone has a social security number, you can do school fees through e-citizen. But also on the underlying fact, one underlying fact is that many people know that the motivation for this paying through e-citizen is not only to collect revenue, it's also for someone else to get that 50 shillings on top. And let me give you a very simple example. Assume in Machakos the other day, people are running away from the hospitals, government hospitals, because when you go to the hospital, when you go for registration, you pay plus 50 bob registration. When you go to the pharmacy to look for medicine, you will still pay another 50 shillings. When you are going to see the doctor, the charges plus 50 shillings. In the village setup or in a rural setup,
Yes.
it becomes too expensive, this 50 shilling which are being asked for every spot you are going to pay. Africans pay school fees in bits.
Yes.
And when they pay in bits, they will be charged 50 shillings. You pay 2,000, 50 shillings, 1,000, 50 shillings. If they count that money, it's a huge sum of money which should have paid for them, even pocket money for their kids. And these individuals are not well financially, they are not planned. And that's what I'm saying, either President William Ruto is a genius, because this economy of ours is in ICU.
Completely. Like these people.
And it's supposed to be managed from ICU. You do not mismanage a patient in ICU with these such movements. Yes, you can subsidize production, but that one takes a long time. And people, the economists should tell him that exactly.
Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes I usually wonder that people think Kenya is Nairobi or Nairobi is Kenya.
Exactly.
These people, they are like showing so much ignorance about grassroots, how the rural Kenya works, that it is shocking that they seem to live in another cloud that the rest of us are not even aware. They used to call it Cloud 9, or is it Cloud 10?
Cloud 9. But even the saddest thing is that I was looking at the portal for university entry, and I really pity us parents. Because nowadays, the format which they have presented is that if you are a poor mother, let not even think your kid will study medicine. Because they have in that portal, and that's what I'm saying, either the president is too brave, or is naive, or is a genius.
But I feel like education should not be made for the rich.
So, in short, that education portal is just made also for the rich. Because a poor kid cannot pick. Because before you choose your courses to the university today, and the portal is open from this month, they are asking you, what is your income?
If you have no income, you're out.
You cannot pick that class.
There are some the expensive courses
are not for the poor.
So there's
for
no
the
hope
poor.
for the poor people
and
Kenya.
these poor do well in exams, by the way.
So a poor kid who has always dreamt of being a doctor, a lawyer, a physicist, and all this, cannot pick those subjects because he will be hindered by the school fee. And the university has made it very...
Why aren't people, I'm hearing it for the first time, why are people not talking about it?
People are not, I heard
because
people...
they
there
don't
are too many
understand.
problems.
No, I heard people talking about it, saying that education is meant for the rich.
It is meant for the
But
rich.
why are people not...
And you know the problem is, you find that there is a child somewhere who is trying to fight poverty from their family. Now I'm going to study hard so that I can do this course, get better opportunities. But now if you're poor, you're not even going to get the opportunity to even do the course.
And the saddest thing is that education is an equalizer, as Nelson Mandela said, for the humankind.
Not anymore in Kenya.
But in Kenya today, it is not.
It is not an equalizer.
It is not. And,
Wow.
you are paying school fees through a portal which will determine whether you have money or not.
You know, the way you're talking about it, it sounds to me like it's a national crisis. It's
It
a
is.
really
It
big
is.
crisis.
It's a
Why
big
are
crisis.
politicians not talking about it?
It's a big crisis. For
The-
people who have children,
Like
it feels
the
sad.
most biggest lucrative courses, obviously the ones that will get you out of poverty, some
Yes.
courses are useless. Let's just say that.
It's
Yeah.
true.
It's like it's only for the rich people.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't have an income, you cannot study. Well, let's move to the second topic.
Anyway, talking of universities
Yes.
and all that, we'll talk Valentine's.
Okay.
You know, one of
Love.
so I want to say something about Valentine's
Yes.
and the university.
Yeah.
I just remember in my campus days,
Yes.
that is the day you knew. Because when it's Valentine's,
Yes.
either the guy is there or he's not there. He'll not have a Google Meet with you.
Yeah.
So that is the day you knew. Leo ni Leo. That
If
is-
you are in dating this man or not.
Yes, it was them Sema Kweli.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's coming and, so already
Yeah.
there's a story about this teacher who apparently has committed suicide and has asked to be buried on Valentine's Day with the ex-girlfriend reading the eulogy.
Ooh. Ooh.
Me, I'll comment
Is it
last
sad or
because
not?
I have
Okay, Maria,
Like,
let's go.
it's not-
Oh.
No, I'm wondering, is it sad or not sad? That's what I'm asking myself. Because, first of all, let me digress a little. If young people knew that we get rejection every day at our place of work, at the places we go to, every deal we try to make, we get rejection. Even us that are married, my husband cannot give me everything I ask for. But it's so sad that people kill themselves out of rejection. When you can find someone else, sad. So I don't understand how this girlfriend is going to be reading a eulogy of someone who died because she's the one who rejected the guy. But I also feel like this girlfriend will be held by someone else on that reading that eulogy because she's sad, and then she'll move on a day later. Why is it that we have not normalized accepting rejection up to today? And we keep saying it's mental health. Yes, I understand. Mental health can be a reason. But is it a reason enough for you to kill yourself? Like, you're killing yourself because someone said no, someone does not want you. Remember, we have different things, and not everything I want wants me. How do I go to a point that I'm expecting a human being to cling on to me and want me by the virtue of, I want you? I always blame this a little bit on parenting when I say that teach your kids that rejection happens every day. Like, try and tell them no as often as you can sometimes so that they can know that you cannot kill yourself because of love. You cannot. And this guy wrote a letter. Like, he sat down, wrote a letter, I'm going to kill myself. And in his mind, it was going to be punishment for this girl. This girl is going to move on tomorrow. Tomorrow. Actually, she's already moved on, maybe.
You know, I always like to talk to young men sometimes because even the word unconditional love has condition.
Yeah.
has condition in it.
Even the word unconditional love has condition. And I always tell young men and women, the person who loves you the most is your mother, unconditionally. The rest of the people will always have a condition in it.
True.
So I do not see why you would kill yourself because of rejection. And for many years, many centuries, people have been left. You are not the first one who will be left. If you read the biographies, the histories, all these great men, they will tell you one time or the other they've suffered rejection. And that rejection has made them stronger people. But if you think that that is the end of the world, then it's a mental issue. Because love cannot drive you to kill yourself. And I tell young people out there all the time, why are you going to kill yourself? Because even our mothers, when they were getting married, if you do not want to be rejected, first of all, better yourself either. You are a teacher. This lady, I suppose she was also working or a teacher or something. Women always want someone who have a better income. Look for income. Look for better welfare. Look for wealth. And look for all these things. And then you can keep. Women are not kept because of promise of love alone. They are kept by so many other things. So you might think that you are going to make her stick. But if you cannot provide all that, then she will leave. and she will go and get someone else. And even if you die, the next day, this woman will still get another man who will provide, and the next time you'll be a footnote in her life.
Yeah. Wow. Those are, but what I want to say is, first of all, there is a huge crisis. You know, as I'm seated here, I know of, like me personally, you know of this other guy, everyone knows in the media, who may have committed suicide. I've heard of a 17-year-old, a 30-year-old, just this week only.
Yes, yes.
So we do have a crisis, of a mental health crisis. And I don't know, attributing it to Valentine or something like that this season, I think would be perhaps not the way to go. But what I want to say is that there could be also a parenting crisis.
Yes, serious.
Yeah. There's a parenting crisis in the sense that we are, as parents, sometimes we are overcompensating for our children. Because I think life in Kenya right now is so much better than life 30 years ago when some of us were growing up, or even 40 years ago. And so I think so that for parents who are bringing up children, because we can do something about it at home. Can we have our children be disappointed at home? Can the home be the first place where children learn disappointment? Children learn that they can even be rejected, so that they can learn how to deal with it. You know, I think we are cushioning the children too much. And during this Valentine season, what I want to say is that if you feel overwhelmed, you know, social media can cheat. Yeah. People are looking like, oh, they are in this. So be careful, log off. If you don't have anyone right now, just log off. If you feel overwhelmed, even call the Kenya Red Cross. I think we need to put some emergency numbers that people can actually call, because this is it's a crisis time for young people. I just mentioned when I was in campus, and those days it was analog completely. That is the day you knew
if you are going to have a date or not.
Yes, it was that song of Leo ni Leo. It was completely. I can just imagine for the young people now.
Yeah.
I think we should put some emergency numbers they can call.
Yeah.
If someone feels overwhelmed, please tell somebody, call someone, talk to someone. It's never that serious.
And as much as you're in love, like you're so in love with this person, they may not be feeling the same way.
Yes.
So if on Valentine's Day you discover that, it's not the end of the world. Like, rejection is normal. You know, sometimes I always look at my child asking for something and I tell myself, I know I can offer, but if I tell you no, let me see the level of tantrums you can throw. And with the time you realize they understand that you can get a no and survive from it. Because a lot of people don't know that. And this Valentine is when you hear that. And please, if the person you're with is not giving you what you saw on social media, it might not even be true that they were given.
Yes.
It might not even be true.
They buy themselves flowers.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yes, they buy themselves chocolates and gifts.
And they take pictures and they tell you that he's the one. He's the perfect one. Please.
Yeah, and then if it's a guy, maybe he'll go and take some photos pretending like they're somewhere with some girl, and they're not.
And they're not.
Yeah, it's a complete...
And others are doing brand promotions, and you're there telling yourself, oh, wow.
And actually, what I think is that as we close this topic, many Kenyans who are married today, they might not be married to their first love anyway.
Very
So, you must have, we say in English, you must have kissed enough frogs to get your charming prince or princess or something.
A charming prince is somewhere, and you don't fight for your charming prince to love you.
Yeah, you cannot end up at you're killing yourself. That might not have been your charming prince.
And by the way, first of all, I want to use my own example.
Yeah.
I don't even think my husband knows.
Yes.
Next week. He totally, completely has refused to acknowledge the commercialization of Valentine's.
Yes.
But we go big on birthdays, on other days, completely.
Yeah.
So he still married
me too.
And he loves me. I know without, we just recently celebrated 27 years together.
Yeah.
And we, So it doesn't mean that if a guy doesn't buy you a gift, it doesn't mean he doesn't love you.
Of course.
Maybe he doesn't even want to acknowledge this Valentine.
Actually, my husband
nonsense.
also makes birthdays bigger, but Valentine's, he has already told me he'll not be there.
It's commercialization
It's
of...
okay. So anyway, let's go to the next
Before
story.
we go, but
Yeah.
just in case,
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to celebrate life's greatest moments.
Yeah,
It's
it
good
is
to
better,
celebrate
yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please get yourself a bottle of Samantha, rose, or red or white. Currently, we have promos running in all the retail stores, your
Yeah.
Chandaranas, your Quick Marts. Please get yourself. And you know, Samantha is the brand known for love.
Very true.
Yes.
So let's go to the next topic while you're buying wine. So, Mamboga takes 6 million shillings to Pastor Ezekiel. To Pastor Ezekiel.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know, is it brainwash? But for me, it will be fast. I didn't know selling Sukuma Wiki has so much profit. I'm in the wrong career. How did the 6 million start fast to be taken to Pastor Ezekiel, asking for help?
You know, can I comment first
Yes.
on that? You know, I saw it. I saw that story. I looked at it. For me, I saw a lot of ignorance. And no, she did not make money from the Sukuma Wiki. Apparently, her son just came with some people, apparently from some national intelligence, some people known to her. They gave her half, 3/4, which was 6 million, and they took off with the son who took away the 4 million. So three things actually occurred to me. The first question is that first of all, this story is true, right? This
Yeah.
lady is so ignorant. But the main thing is, who do Kenyans trust? Me, this is the question.
Pastors.
Yeah,
Why?
who do Kenyans trust? Like,
Pastors.
you got, first of all, if I got 6 million, yeah, I'll go and keep. But also, it's a test of,
Yes.
also it's an integrity test.
Yeah.
Yeah, integrity test. But the most important question, who do Kenyans trust?
Trust.
Do they trust religious leaders? Do they trust politicians? Do they trust the police? Because she could have gone to the police. Hiyo pesa ingepatikana?
Haiwezi.
Hapana.
Haiwezi ikapatikana.
But Pastor ashamwonyesha itapatikana.
Yeah. So who would you run to? This is the fundamental question. Who would you run to? So for me, it is people still trust religious leaders.
Yes.
But also on the other hand, I'm thinking, is this something stage managed, especially after TB Joshua's reveal? Is this something that is stage managed to show how honest some people are?
Okay.
Would you
You
trust?
know, oh my goodness.
What would you do with that money?
First of all, let me take you back to a book I read.
That answer is far.
This is one of my favorite books. It's around 150 pages only, by Professor Jesse Mugambi, the late Professor Jokton Boma Ojwang, the Supreme Court judge, and of course the sage philosopher from my village in Ugenya, the late Professor Henry Odera Oruka.
Okay.
The book is very small. It's called The Rational Path. And they discussed three things. They discussed religion, politics, and law. So, in short, they discussed the morality. And I always say that why the pastors become so influential when you read that book, The Rational Path, is that, you know, faith is believing in something.
That does not,
Yeah,
you cannot
there's
see
You cannot see.
Exactly.
yet, yes.
So this lady has money which she can see. And she goes to
Taking it in something you cannot see.
she's going to Bishop, my Pastor Ezekiel, great man of God. I don't have issues with him. Takes to Ezekiel 6 million. And then Ezekiel gives her 1 million to go and build a house.
That's what happened.
Why?
You understand what I'm trying to say? That's why I came with that book. I'm looking at that book, The Rational Path. So faith is a very difficult thing to define. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ. But there are people who misuse faith. And people also who do not understand what faith is. So now, you get your money, you take it to a bishop. You have not identified whether that's the true bishop. That's why you see the Pastor T.B. Joshua's reveal is like that. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a whole community of people in Kenya who trust religious leaders and do not trust anyone else.
But I think you would have taken tithe instead.
And even the tithe, that's what I'm saying. Remember I said faith. If you start dealing with the faith, you will not have any rational conversation with it, because faith is believing in something unseen and all that.
Yes, it cannot be rational.
Cannot be rational.
Yeah.
But just a question.
Yeah.
Where is the 5 million?
No, as he progressed to that level, he said he's keeping and he'll give her all her
said,
money.
what Pastor Ezekiel said, and graciously said, Madam, I'll keep you your money. Because I think this woman is so distressed because she thinks the son must have been killed, and you know mothers and their sons. So Pastor Ezekiel, what I appreciate about Pastor Ezekiel is that he did not take the money as his. He took the money and said, I'll keep, but I'll give you $1 million. This woman doesn't have a house. You go and build yourself a house first.
Can she get the
I'll
5
keep
to
the
build a
5
house
and then
without
you
the
go and
son?
build a house.
Yes.
And then you come for the 5.
If I'm keeping for you, you can come for it. If that one I don't know. It's about trust.
Gosh.
How do you carry to the pastor?
Did you see how the congregants were looking like, are you for real? And you just, for me that was the interesting thing when I looked at that video. The rest of the congregants were looking and they're like looking at this woman.
6 million.
Like, how stupid
Could
are
it
you?
be Pastor Ezekiel
Literally,
trying to buy the trust of
Yes.
people?
Yes, I thought about that.
Because the way showing off that much to all that congregation, it could be she's trying to buy the trust of people by doing so. But
Yes.
now we don't know. Okay, and the son is not. How can I give you 1 million to go? How will you build a house when you don't know your son?
He's trying to show that he's a faithful man. Like people trust him.
But now
That's what I thought.
There are two, I always say there are two kind of preachers. There are people who are truly, truly religious, truly, truly serving the gospel of Christ. And there are few, and we appreciate them, the men of the cloth. But there are also other people who are not in that, they are in business. Remember, the gospel has, even the Bible says that not all who calls me in my name are my servants.
But on that note,
Yeah.
there was a story of a lady who lived on Riverside Drive. And she had this block of apartments and some religious leader. Let's not mention names. We don't want to be, the next day we are taken to court. Some religious leader, apparently, allegedly, completely fed her on some concoctions, and yes, until she completely, by the time the relatives were finding her, she was a lawyer. And that story is online. She's still alive. They had completely taken over her property, and they had occupied it by some religious leader.
so brainwashing in religion is very normal and very something that happens all the time.
It's manipulation.
They're manipulated, and some preachers use the word that favors them to manipulate these people.
Yeah.
I think also let me just give a rebuttal to what our good doc has said. When I looked at that case, I realized that even the family themselves were not being honest in that story. The family were accusing this religious leader unfairly.
Okay.
And they took him to, there were claims. And those claims were untrue, because I had a chat with the same religious leader. And we went through with these people, and I saw that the family also were lying. They were lying in the fact that the property is still in the woman's, the pastor's name, the lady pastor. These people are just staying there because it's part of their service. But it is not true. The family were just painting in social media. and they just wanted to take that thing from the woman because the woman is so deep in faith. And I told you these matters of faith are so difficult.
They're complicated.
They are so difficult to understand. That's why people think that people who are born again are crazy sometimes. They are not. It's just matters of faith. Let's move on to the next topic.
Actually, we'll take a short break and then we'll be right back on Let's Be Real.
And we're going for the break. Remind our viewers out there that we have a WhatsApp number down there on the screen. Please.
Isn't somebody winning a wine?
No. If you want to join, if you want to join our community, please check the number down there. Send us a message and we'll get back to you. Join the Let's Be Real community. We value you, we appreciate you.
Cheers.
Yeah. Welcome back. Of course, we've had the most interesting conversation. We've talked about Valentine, and Dr. C is going to give any viewers some wine today. Dr. C, which wine are you giving our guys?
They should actually say which one they want. So we've got the white, we've got the red, and we've got the rosé. So you answer and say where you are likely or where you are spending your Valentine, and we will choose a winner.
Please remember to send your answers on the screen, on the number, the WhatsApp number below. We will pick one winner for next week, and we will announce one winner of that bottle of wine from Dr. C with lots of love.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to another story whereby we talk about a man who killed his girlfriend and was arrested. He killed his girlfriend and dumped the body and was arrested. Now he fled from the police in Muthaiga. Like they say that he just walked out, boarded a matatu and went. Like could that be an inside job, or do people just walk out of cells the way they want nowadays? Like it's nothing.
You know, I laughed when I saw that thing. It reminded me, I always like stories. It reminded me of my good friend Chacho. Chacho, if you're watching this, of course, Charles Omondi, the gentleman who was accused of getting out of JKIA with 54 million. You remember at that time, $1 million. So Chacho is a great friend of mine. He comes from my village there. So he was telling me the way police operate, that when he was being arrested that day, some police officers came and convinced him that if he can give them 4 million, they book him in, then they'll release him. So what happened is he had 2 million. He was from drinking, but he had 2 million in his car. So he gave those officers 2 million. But when he reached the booking, they didn't book him. They just put him in the cell and not book him in the OB. In the morning, apparently, when they were coming to release him and let him go, the senior officer, the OCS, came and realized that the most wanted man was actually in the cell. And he was like, wow, this man is here. And he called the media. So the money, the guy said, but before you take me in, where is my money? Chacho. Now, that opened my eyes the way the police in Kenya operates. That this character, Kevin, who killed a girlfriend and was taken to Muthaiga, I'm sure that he had a plan with the police officers and money exchanged hands. And they told him, you bring your guy and masquerade as a lawyer, and you just walk off.
And we'll call a meeting.
And we'll call a meeting. It is as simple as that. The police in Kenya do not, 90% or 70% do not do their thing because they want to do. One, they're underpaid.
Yes. And you're paying the security guards even more. 30,000.
Yes, they're underpaid.
And guns.
This character from the States probably has $1 million and is willing to give. I can assure you, Dr. C and Maria, that's how we got out of that jail.
But wait, what happened to Chacho?
Chacho was taken to committee, he's my friend.
He's in committee?
He served and got out.
Served how many years?
He served his term.
Gosh. He couldn't share this money.
Share with who?
And
The
then
one who
yeah.
wanted, the one, the head one, the
Or
big
he
one.
left the money, or the money was not there.
The money was there.
And he kept the money until he got out.
Yes, the money. You see what happened is that the people who he claimed he didn't steal the money. Period.
Okay, let's not go.
But the country is becoming too corrupt. If someone can walk out after doing such a huge crime, that is really not right. Like,
But
no
you
matter
see-
how they are paid, like this is someone who died and the body was dumped and you know they did it. But the fact that money can get you out of anything, that is where you realize, again, we go back to the poor will keep on serving term, staying there for long, but if you have money, you can commit a crime and just walk away scot-free. That is very wrong. It's not actually a good picture that we are showing.
But you see, this is what I say, okay? That we live, it's a symbiotic relationship, okay? A symbiotic relationship. So you think you may be in a higher office, embezzling funds, you know, something like that, and you think you're out of this. You know, that could have been your child, killed in the US. And because, you know, from one end of the stick, there's the other end of the stick.
Yes, yes.
There's consequences. So if you are corrupt in this corner, some other people are just going to be corrupt in another corner. Yeah, and another corner. And the fact that we all live in this society. Now we've reached a stage where even criminals are just being released.
Yeah, they buy freedom.
Yeah, because
Now
you know,
freedom has a price.
it reminds me of, I always say this story. My daughter was telling me the other day of a history class they had. They were, I think, talking of King Richard, where there was a crisis, and the citizens actually stormed the castle where the king was living, and even the security people refused to stop them because they were also feeling whatever it is they were feeling. So we are in such a situation such that with these crises everywhere, what wanajisaidia?
But
I think
but if you commit a crime and then go away scot-free like that, who is to say that you will not do it again and again and again? Now that you've known the way to go, or the way to get yourself out of it.
But last week, you know, Simon said something that really did hit my head, that, you know, even these people committing femicide, you know, they are criminals.
Yeah.
This guy is actually a criminal. He is a criminal. Like, who has the mind to plan such things? Look at how he executed that death. Look at how he's in Kenya, and he's an intelligent, learned guy. Rather than thinking of how to create employment, his mind is being used to do other sinister things. He reminds me of Al Capone, almost.
Al Capone.
Yes.
But the madness we have in this nation, and I've always said, is that one Kenyan top banker follows his wife and plans to kill in the United States. That's clear madness.
Yes.
Then this one kills this girlfriend in the United States, and he works at the airport, boards a plane, comes to Kenya, and goes to celebrate in a bar. He's arrested, pays his way out, and then the police come to tell us that there's no one, there's a framework of how people are arrested and are put behind jails and terms of release. The third one is the other time when I looked at the way this young girl Waini was killed and totally dismembered. The question is, we have our state-of-the-art police lab at the police headquarters, which is to solve all these crimes. None of them have ever been solved. None. Is it the police? Are the police incompetent? Is it the leadership of the police which is incompetent? Or is it that the corruption we have in this country, we cannot be helped?
I think we can't be helped. Watu wanajisaidia.
And
Alafu anasema tukutane hapo
the
mbele.
victims are the ones who are not helping themselves. So the victims are the ones who are going through it.
The victims are and the victims are all of us. All of us, anything.
Yeah, because
you know.
if someone would kill someone and then go scot-free, who's to say that they will not come to someone else?
And I feel for the family, actually. the mother of that girl. You took care, you struggled. Do you know how to take, as we wind up, as you struggled to take your daughter
Yes.
to better her life in the United States. I can assure you, you probably changad, ukauza ng'ombe, you probably sold the only piece of land like the Eldoret parents are doing, and then the character ends up killing. She falls in love, and she's killed because she wants out. It's total disaster.
It's total disaster. Anyway, moving on, we are talking about opportunities for
Yes.
everybody,
Yeah.
and talking about free choices. But as we are talking about that, recently there was a story of recruitment in the NIS.
Yes.
NIS, where a couple of candidates were rejected because they had all these tattoos and body marks. So it brought the question, should you be rejected for a job because of your tattoos or various body, like, you know, wearing earrings or how you've chosen to put your hair? Should you be denied a job opportunity because of that?
I would say it's public service, first of all. And I always say that if you know you're going to apply for the job in the military, number one, there's a set of rules which are for generations. For example, if you're short, you cannot get into the army. If your teeth are not in a certain order, you can get into the army. If these are the conditions, and these conditions have been there, not only in Kenyan army, but is what we call a world standard.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to change the military rule or this place's world standard, and tattoos among them. My advice has always been to young people, there are some jobs which you know for sure. If God did not create you tall, just know that is not for you.
You're not going to Milan to the catwalk.
You will not to Milan. Even the catwalk is 36, 24, 36.
Yes.
If you are fat, if you are a woman and you are below, if your waist is not 24
Yes.
and your bust is not 36, you cannot say today, I want to be in the runway in Milan.
Even though there's plus size models now.
But that is not the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are saying standard. You cannot say today I'm going to the runway. They will tell you, we will put you in the plus size. But the main one where all the fashion trends are is 36, 24, 36. That is the body size. Also in the military, if you have crooked teeth, yellow teeth, then do not apply. It is not us saying, it is just the law. And do you want us to change it? Then let's go to a national referendum and say that Kenya, which is a community among other world communities, have decided we will employ short people in the army, we'll employ people without teeth and with tattoos. And it becomes a game changer. And will help 1,000 of other countries who are suffering from the same set of rules.
Okay.
That is the government, but I also believe that there are a set of rules that are, okay, not just corporate, but there's some sort of, the choices people make. Like, for example, I'm making to be a simple, classic lady. When people see me, this is how I want to be seen dressed, this is how I want to be seen. I want people to associate with me, and this is the kind of people I'm attracting, the opportunities I'm attracting. It also depends. Because sometimes you find that, not just in the military, young people nowadays, and I always say young people because I grew up in a household whereby I couldn't be allowed to have a tattoo. And I'm grateful that I grew up there, because if I was given a certain level of freedom and I'd done it, right now my life would have been a mess, because the career path that I'm looking at or the opportunities that I'm looking for in my life would have been a problem. Now you find that young people, as soon as they turn 18, what can I do with my body? And then when they turn 23, 24, now I'm going to look for a job. Some people miss their opportunities because of the fact that they did not think this through earlier, or because of influence. Oh, so-and-so is doing it. This person is making money from whatever they're doing, they're okay. You copy them, not knowing that 3 years or 4 years from now, I'm supposed to be thinking about my life. And your life, the opportunities presented to you are this. But because of the decisions you made when you were younger, you have blocked yourself from getting there. Because I see a lot of people doing it, not knowing. If you ask someone why you're doing it, like, I got a heartbreak at 17. I've written my whole body. Happiness, I love myself. Surely, at 23, you will be falling in love and getting married to someone who was meant for you and getting a job of your dreams. But if you've written yourself like that, are you attracting the job that you wanted to do? Are you really in a place? Have you placed yourself? I always tell people that sometimes it's not the hard work and the opportunities, it's you placing yourself in the opportunities themselves. Because if you don't take care of yourself now, when you're young, don't rush into these things. And if you're a parent out there, encourage your kids to think through the decisions they make in their lives. Because they'll be drawing their entire bodies and then growing up to realize that, wow, I admire this career and I want to do it. Then they're rejected.
Dr. Z.
Okay, so actually I think so that there are some people who have a fetish for
Tattoos.
Yeah. Like they tattoo themselves everywhere. It's some form of self-expression and some form of art. So that's it. And I personally have no problem with people putting tattoos, whatever, but if it's my daughter, we'll need to have that conversation. But I have no problem. I have no problem. I just want it known that I have no problem with other people doing it. Like, it's their life, it's their choices. The other thing is, when you look at very many companies, and since we are talking about jobs, they talk about diversity, inclusion, and this means they allow you to be you, and ideally, most people would not even put it on their HR website that we don't employ people with tattoos and in certain way they keep their hair and all that. So it leads to this false sense of security that you can do anything that you want to do. So you find the young people are doing it. But actually, there's a lot of research that has been done. I recently listened to a research and the results are in. A lot of HR heads were asked, it's a worldwide study, they were asked about the bias, It's called the unconscious bias.
Yeah, there are many. Yes.
Yeah, there are many, but this is one of them. This is what they were asked, especially about the tattoo things, or these just things that are really veers off the normal, you're not within the normal range. And a lot of the HR heads said they have no problem with people with the tattoos, but they would definitely think twice or 4 times before they hire you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not written anywhere. They will not tell you to your face, we have a problem with this, but they will just not hire you, and you'll just be wondering why you're not being hired. So people with eccentricities, with their way they dress, with the way they put themselves, those tattoos, the way they do their makeup and all that, sometimes are better suited in a creative, artsy environment. So perhaps, unless you're looking for a career in that environment, I see there's less bias there. But if you're going for formal, corporate, like bankers, you want to stay very neat and in black. In fact, even their dresses are controlled. Most of them are in navy blues and blacks. Not, you're not even allowed to wear very colorful, even in the courts. The lawyers are very controlled in terms of the way they're supposed to dress. So certain careers you just miss out, definitely, because they do have a dress code. Like even the doctors have a dress code in Kenya.
Yes.
You turn up with a tie, with a suit, in a certain way, and you will just exclude yourself.
But also, you can overlook tattoos, but then whatever the tattoo says, sometimes people draw things that are, you can say you're overlooking. There's a tiny rose somewhere that is not even visible or affecting anyone, but there's also a huge image on your neck that's a tattoo, and it depends also.
It could even be abusive.
It could even be abusive.
I agree with you, Dr. C. And as we wind up, I would say one thing, that young people do not understand what sometimes they want in life.
Yeah.
And when you're going for seeking for a position of employment, remember that not everyone, as you said earlier, is born and bred in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Not everyone. The people who are sitting in this seat, some of them have really struggled from the villages and have succeeded in life, and now they are the HR managers, the HR officers, they are the CEOs, they are the people who are employing you. And they come from a different cultural grounding. Culture to them is so supreme that as much as you want to do your tattoo, do it thinking beyond yourself. Think beyond what else will I communicate to the other people. And if you come from a Christian background, the Holy Book says a few things about tattoo. I will not tell you, go and read. It is not me, for me, it's my place to say. But the culture, people from those different areas will not hire people unless in those art scenes or art areas or those creative industries. They will always think, or footballers, of course. Anything which you do with your talent, you can have your tattoo and enjoy your life. But an office setting, there are very few. If dreadlocks has been a problem for a long time, what about the drawings on your body?
Yes.
What about the drawings? Let's move on to the next topic. Now, this week, there's a lot of single motherhood, single fatherhood, and people in the world, always in Kenya. I do not have an issue with a man or a woman who comes from a single parent, because our society is so dynamic. Even in our books, nowadays a family can be of a mother, a father, or a couple. But research shows that as long as we still have these single parents, more people still believe in marriage. More people still believe in father and mother relationship. And the kids who are born from father-mother relationship and nurtured together are seen to be ideal. What do you guys think?
I saw the results of that research.
Yes.
And in Kenya.
Yes.
This research was done in Kenya, right?
Yes, in Kenya, yes.
And for me, it just affirms what I've always been saying, that marriages are still alive. Marriages are actually working. And obviously, a lot of people need to be told that there would be challenges within marriages. And that romantic love is not enough to keep a marriage together. And the more people understand that, the better. But at least you better like the guy or the woman. So for me, I think it really affirms what I've been saying, that marriages are alive. Too many people are talking. Yes, divorces are there. And in all the cultures, divorces were always there, and there's a prescribed way in which divorces should happen. So for me, I think so that it's really good that we have an empirical way. By empirical, I mean we have measured.
Yes.
Which is the preferred. Are marriages still working and alive? Because if marriages don't work, the nation will not work. The world will not work. The marriage really provides a form in which we can pass on our traditions, our even inheritance, the family name, all that. And no offense to any single parent, but if you're single, it's good to get a companion. At one point, you will need a companion. But marriage is really, truly, for me, it's an ideal.
Wow. So this, I always say marriage is a scam, because you find that a lot of people are walking in it very fast without having to tell themselves, what am I really walking into? Then a few months later, a baby is here, then now we are co-parenting. Most of these things do not end up wrong, they just started wrong. We all believe that, and we all know, this is common knowledge, that when a child is raised by both mother and father, the character you get out of there is quite very, very different. And you find that this child has both support and both discipline. Now, you are young and you are co-parenting out of choice, because in your head you ran into it so fast. I know divorces have been happening from way far. There's a podcast I was listening of Michelle Obama, who was saying that everything that is happening right now was happening before, only that right now we have the internet to magnify that everyone will see it as fast and they will think that everyone is going through it. Everything, like the times are really worse. Yes. When in real sense, these things, people separated before. Divorces were happening even before. But right now, one divorce is magnified to such a manner that you will, because we all hear it, we'll feel like everyone is divorcing. No, everyone is not divorcing. Some people are really happily married. Some people are really navigating. And yes, there are challenges.
Can I toast to my 27 years?
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And yes, there are challenges out here. They are really, I'll tell you for free, I've been in it for 6 years and I've seen the challenges. But I would not want to subject my children into me co-parenting with their dad because of simple issues that I could have solved or we could have talked about. But because you are young and you are not mentally capable of telling yourself, now this is something we can sit down and talk about it. You jumped into it at a very young age. That is where you find that a lot of young people right now are really believing in co-parenting when we know in real sense, if you ask anyone, including them, they would wish to have children raised in two-parent marriages. Because I'm a believer of marriages are working every single day. We are in them and we are glad that we are in them. And we are happy that we see our children run to. I'm happy when the dad comes home, like my children running to their father. That is a joy to me. I wouldn't be happier that their father is calling me, I'm picking them in the evening. That wouldn't be happy. I'm not disrespecting anyone who is single because there's also, I always say that if it's toxic to a point that it's risking your life and your mental health, you can walk out. But there are issues that do not need you to subject yourself and your children to single parenthood.
Now, I will take it to another level. I want to, first of all, appreciate the man known as the bullfighter, Haluale.
Oh, Haluale.
And this is what a true African man should do. Parade your wives if they are 6.
Are they 6?
I
saw 3.
They are 3, but he has 4. But I'm saying, why marriage works?
I want to comment on that.
Why marriage works is because Haluale showed us. Every year, Haluale's kid is going to is sitting class 8 or form 4, and they're passing. And
but is he building schools for himself?
No.
When they are overpopulating the world.
Don't draw the line there about overpopulation. There's no overpopulation. But what I'm trying to say is that marriages work. The setup might be different. You might be a monogamous man, or you might be a Haluale with 3 wives, or 4. And you can stand as a man and bring them. And I'm saying this because on February, this month, we are going for Valentine. And I also myself, I'm a member of the other organization.
Men's conference.
And on that day...
You have a chair, by the way.
Leto is our chair currently.
You know, I've never believed that thing exists.
No, and I want to tell our other men who believe in this conference that marriages work, and if it doesn't work for you, come to us in men conference. We will educate you how to live happily with your wife. And if you cannot marry one, we will teach you to marry 2.
Oh gosh. Because
polygamy is African, and African is our business.
You know, my husband has already told me not to be there next week.
He's going for a conference.
So if you are not going for Valentine's, please join us in the men's conference where we'll teach young men how to keep their families together, how to provide, how not to die because you've been left or you've been dumped. These are issues.
But me, I want to educate women.
Yes, educate them.
Just looking at those photos, I saw on Twitter, I saw some photos of the 3 wives.
Yeah.
There was the first, the second, the middle one, and the third one.
Yeah.
And the Twitter said that, the Twitter thing said that last one looks like Nyayo Stadium. Uko ndio pira inaelekea. That's where the games are big. The middle one looks like they're holding on to love.
Yes.
And the first one looks like, So this is the advice. This is the true advice for women.
Yes.
You're married.
Yes.
Like you went to church, you got married, make sure it's monogamous. And then you can help each other. lakini akifanya fujo, akileta hiyo maneno,
yeah,
ati they want to marry another wife, divorce him, separate, get your half, go and look good. Okay?
Yeah.
And then, so you have children.
Dr.
You
C.
go and tell him you educate your children. Just like move out.
Dr.
Otherwise
C.
you're going to
Dr.
look
C.
like that first wife. Look at that, how that first wife is looking.
Dr.
There's
C.
no way.
The
Wewe
question-
angalia venye amekaa.
Dr. C.
Umeona venye amekaa?
Are you from
But you
Luya
see,
culture?
Toka.
Atoke aende wapi?
Aende. Divide by half.
Listen.
No,
Dr.
you
C.
know, for this
Are
man
you-
to have
No,
married
no.
another woman,
No.
for this man to have married another woman, you left the first one, went to look for another one. Now you are tired with the second one. You're going for the third one.
Fanny,
In
you
the
are
name of
stadium,
you love all
eh?
of them. No.
Therefore,
no.
listen.
If you're
No.
a first wife,
No.
divorce, go
These
away with the other
ladies
half.
out there, do not listen to Dr. C's advice. That is wrong. You cannot divorce
Just
your
look for the
husband
picture of the first
because
wife.
your husband has married. In Africa, we
No,
marry
not
one,
because he has married.
2 or
Not
3.
because he has married. Married, go and marry even 100 if you want.
Yes.
But what I would do is divorce, separate the wealth into half. Because you saw that her first wife.
Yes,
she's
what-
probably not getting the money. I don't know. Look at the third one. How she's looking good. Use that money, go for, I don't know if it's do whatever it is you need to do. Just look young. Divide. You worked so hard for it. Just divide.
Imagine you found this
Yes.
man when he was struggling. Then after he's found something, he's now can afford a second wife.
That's the thing.
How?
Just look at that first
Like,
wife.
you know, most marriages start with you are starting with the man. Then once you are there, and now is I can
So
have
you
two
don't
You
wives.
can
want us to
still
marry
be
second
together. You
wife?
can
I
still
know.
be together. The first thing is make sure you get married the correct way. So that
Yes.
hata mkiachana, mnaachana.
Kabisa.
If he decides what. So it's not about the marriage.
Yes.
It's about dividing the wealth. Because there's no way you're just working hard,
Yes.
And
helping
then-
him succeed.
and-
Yes.
For him to fall in love again.
You can still even be there. Mwambie mimi nataka shamba ya watoto.
For him to fall in love again.
Well,
After
yes.
you divide the wealth, you can date him.
It's been hot inside here. Of course, you can see Dr. C and Maria are up in arms. They do not agree with my men's conference. Dr. Halwale, asante sana for bringing all the women to the fore. We appreciate you. We adore what you did. You are a great man. It has been, let's be real,
Why do I feel it's been so short?
Yeah.
it's been real. It's been real.
It's been real. Don't forget, we are giving away gifting the Samantha wine.
Yes.
So, you choose the one you want and tell us where you are spending your Valentine. This is the wine that is helping people celebrate life's greatest moments.
And you can as well go to the number on your screen, and please, all these discussions, you can say something about them, you can talk about them, join our community, and if you believe Dr. C is right with the divorce, run away with the half of your wealth,
Yes.
you can comment in there on that line down there. But remember, marriages work. You can be number 1,
Yes.
number 2, number 3, even the 10th. It is still a marriage.
Don't let yourself go. Please don't let yourself go. You can divide the wealth and then date the guy later. That's also allowed.
Yes. Kwanza atarudi alisema,
Hata mimi.
hata wewe ulikuanga.
Anyway, it's been real. I appreciate you guys so much for watching every Sunday when you tune in. Please get yourself a book. Marriage is a Scam and Love, the original you, in an outlet near you. Don't forget to read a lot this Valentine. Read also. Enhance your brains. And I am so glad to be part of the team who watches me and all of you. Thank you so much. And until next week, guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, am I supposed to say something? Yeah, to my villagers. The one who watched me. When I was in the village, and they were like, yeah, we saw you. We saw you. So cheers, everybody. And yeah, read. Make yourself better. Bring a better person on the table.
Yeah.
Yes. And for men, you should be very worried. If your girl does not like expensive things, you will die poor.
Please be worried. Please.
Be worried.
Please be worried.
If your girl is not a gold digger.
It's okay. Ladies, thank you for watching us. Let's be real. Keep watching every Sunday at 10 p.m. We are here for you.